Hey guys, Brian with VetteSource checking in Sunday evening here on Mother's Day in Southeast Texas. I've got a little bit of nice weather after 3 or 4 days of some nice, interesting April-May storms that we get running through Houston and this area, Southeast Texas. So we're back at it, dried out a little bit today. Thought I'd bring you a quick video, getting a little bit back onto our long-term project. If you noticed when I first started uploading videos a little over a year ago, I've been actually a couple years ago, I started out with this project that I'd picked up, this 1992 Corvette Convertible hardtop 6-speed car, black with red interior, which is actually quite a rare color combination option-wise and things like that, and it just looks killer. This is a car that was sideswiped while it was sitting on a city street by a careless Friday, Saturday night drunk driver, which did a bit of body damage to the car. Car still ran and drove, but after seeing the damage, the young man that owned the car at the time decided he was just going to ditch it. So he got rid of it to another gentleman that never actually paid him for it, instead just stuck it behind literally a mobile home and left it in the weeds back there behind the mobile home for right about 2 years before I got a hold of it. So I went, retrieved the car. It was sold to me possibly as a parts car, but obviously once I got a hold of it and looked at it, I was like, well, no. So this can be saved. It's an original 75,000 mile car that was really a one-owner vehicle. I believe it was out of the south part of the country, out of Georgia if I remember correctly, before it kind of went through the meat grinder. But we're still kind of playing with it when I have time to bring it back. Right now I drive around the neighborhood, just cruise around with it. But what I wanted to take a minute to show you guys was, if you'll see my previous videos, did a little cleanup of it. You can see that link above my head. And then another series of videos where I actually documented doing the suspension repair, because when they hit it, they caught the back corner of the wheel right here and shoved it inboard and damaged some of our suspension control arms and things underneath. So I detailed that. Like I said, those links are above my head if you'd like to take a look at those videos. And I haven't really had much time for it as I've been messing with other stuff and actually running the business that is VetteSource. So today I had a couple of minutes. I wanted to come out and show you guys. Now most everybody knows from common lore and talking that Corvettes are not a metal bodied car. They're built out of fiberglass. Has been the primary construction method of these cars all these years. So this car, the C4 series 84 to 96, is no different, although they did start to make some changes where not every panel on these is fiberglass. And what I'll do, I'll go around and I'll show you. So primarily first, this is our damage that we had. And if you've never looked up close at fiberglass, that's what fiberglass looks like when it's underneath the paint, and the substrate is what we call it. And you actually see these are just glass fibers held together with a resin material. You can see I can just pull that off. Okay, now this is what's underneath here, and you'll see Corvettes that burn, they actually look like this when all the resin burns out of them. Now in this case, this piece that was damaged, let me open the door so you can see. This is the quarter panel of the car, and unlike traditional cars, Corvettes are mostly, before C5s, are all glued together. So if you look right here, you can see that right there? That's where the glue is. So what happened was it ripped that panel loose, ripped this panel off completely. This is called a dog leg that goes down here, and there's a filler panel that goes in there. And then also damaged underneath here the rocker panel that runs all the way along there. Now fortunately for us, it did no frame damage to the car because the frames are super strong. But the only kind of pain in the butt is, on a convertible at least, this piece here, this is the quarter panel, and unlike the coupes where you can split them and resection them in the middle, this thing is one piece all the way from this side all the way over to this side. Okay, so if I can get over here, of course the deck lid sits down into there in that section right there. So what I've got to do on this one is it's going to have to be split right here across this seam through here. That's that piece that we're missing on the other side, which I actually have another piece for it already. And here is the dog leg assembly with the rocker panel right there. So, and of course the inner fender is installed on this side. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to break this all out all the way across and the rear bumper. Let me walk around to the other side so you can see. We'll pull ahead and we'll pull the hood up here. Hood is still made of fiberglass. As you can see, you might be able to, hood you can't really see the substrate very much, but they're pretty well designed. Even the front impact bar on these cars is made out of fiberglass. See that glass material there? The front bumpers are not. These are polyurethane, so this is not a fiberglass piece. The side fenders or the battery trays, these are made out of plastic, like what was on the Fieros, kind of. These are not fiberglass. So, also, when it got hit, it damaged the rear bumper. You see that tear right there? So, you can fix this, but for my purpose, I'm going to go ahead and put another rear bumper on it because I have another rear bumper. And of course, see, it's stress cracked. Everything across here, in here. So this whole piece is bonded on really strong. So we'll have to heat that up, pull the glue apart, and get to the inner tub, which means all this is going to have to come off. The hard top, which is not a big deal, the deck lid, the convertible top underneath the hard top is going to have to come out of there. So all this has got to get to come off so that we can get to this one panel, and the back bumper as well. Now the back bumper is a lot of fun. I'll probably detail that in one video by itself just to get that off of there because it's very interesting. But you can see, other than the accident damage, how that black with the red interior really pops on these cars. The white with the red, the black with the red, it's kind of a neat combo. So you can see here the inner fenders on the Corvette also, fiberglass, fiberglass, fiberglass. Of course, you've got a steel subframe assembly that runs through here. There's your tie bar there. There's that impact bar I was talking about that's fiberglass. Headlight brackets are a pot metal. Fiberglass hood. Even the radiator box on this year car, this era cars, is fiberglass. The firewall on a Corvette is fiberglass. And you may be able to see that's fiberglass there with the metal part. Maybe a little, you can see that seam right there. That's where the fiberglass firewall is glued into the steel A-pillars. Right there, you can kind of see a little bit of that. So this is really just a steel chassis with fiberglass pieces. In fact, this is steel right here, and then the door jamb right here is fiberglass going up over that piece. So it's kind of a neat construction. It's actually rather strong. These cars do really well in accidents unless you hit them in a bad spot at a high rate of speed. Like if you catch them here sideways, of course, this is going to damage that inner tub section, and that is just a killer as far as rebuilding the cars go, because you're going to spend a lot more money throwing at it to rebuild a car that frankly needs to be sacrificed for the other cars. The doors themselves are also fiberglass with an inner steel structure, a beam that holds them in place with a lot of metal pieces on the doors. So not entirely like C3 doors. C3s actually had a metal skin with fiberglass attached to them. So it's kind of neat, just the construction methods of the cars, how they're put together. Headlight doors are fiberglass. So you can look at this and see we've got a fiberglass hood, fiberglass doors, fiberglass firewall, quarter panel, deck lid for the convertibles at least, and then a hardtop. Now this is an optional. This hardtop did not come on all the convertibles. This only came on 915 convertibles, if I remember correctly, for the year. So it's a rather rare car, and it's factory installed. It wasn't one that somebody added later on. The VIN number, I think I have it in here, but I may not. I've got the tag with the VIN number from ASC, the manufacturer of this. Let's see if that's the tag right there. It's kind of a cool little feature. No, I must have put it up so I wouldn't lose it. But it's kind of a neat little feature that it's got. You know, typical mid-90s Corvette. It's kind of a jet fighter cockpit look. Got to put another radio back in it because they stole the radio. This one also has a ride control. These are the really expensive shocks. They give you 3 different settings on them. And I will tell you, you know, by comparison, new cars are, you know, 500, 600, 700 horsepower. Even with a little 300 horse motor with this ZF 6-speed, these things will get after it. They're more than enough power to get you in trouble, and they're just a heck of a lot of fun, really, especially in convertible form. So you can see this car was really nice. I got the headliner out of it because the glue separated, so I got that put up so it don't get damaged. But anyway, as I digress, so you can see a metal chassis with fiberglass panels. Oh, and on, for some reason, the fuel door is metal on these cars too. And you can see how it was kind of improperly, when it was sitting in the weeds, the moisture got to this part, so I have to take this back apart, strip everything off of it. So it's kind of a neat little homologation of all kinds of interesting things on the cars. So really don't have time to do any work on it today. I just wanted to kind of show you guys a little more about the car, let you know I did not forget about it. It actually is alive and well and running. Like I said, I even taught my teenager to drive a 6-speed stick with this car. So we just use it in the neighborhood where we need to go until I get time to finally get the rear quarter panel section off there and get it back together. So I'm going to check out for today. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Sunday evening, back to the work week. I want to thank you all for watching again. And I will check back with you guys later this week, maybe with a little more work on either this Corvette or one of the other Corvettes we're working on, or some of the parts, and we'll go from there. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe if you like to see the videos and want to keep me throwing some more stuff out there for you. And I'll put a link at the end of the video for the playlist I've put together for this car, 92 Corvette 6-speed convertible. And so you can see a little bit more of how I found it and what it actually looked like when I dragged it out from behind that house. And we'll check back in next time. Thanks for watching, guys.